guys, and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys. Today I'm actually going to be doing a subscriber request. This picture was actually sent to me by one of my subscribers. So and it's actually I'm just gonna name it it's like an infinity cape peplum blouse. So that's just what it is. So you could see the picture up there. That's what I'm going to be illustrating here for you today. And this is subscriber request, so you could go to Facebook on Stylish Naija sewing group and then drop your pictures. If you have any dress or any style, that you actually want me to illustrate on the channel, just drop your pictures there for me, and then you could go to Instagram or at Stylish Naija. So those are the two handles, and then drop your pictures. So if you get pick, I'll do a video illustration for you, trying so much as I could to give a detailed explanation on how to achieve the style which you have sent. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my video, share my videos, and then if you actually find this video that I'm about to do now helpful, please do not hesitate to hit on the like button. Just hit on the like button to make you know you appreciate what I did so with the video. So thanks to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate your support towards my channel. I really do. So the first thing I'm going to be doing now, you could see the dress is actually divided into two parts. We have the upper part and then the peplum part. So I'm going to be doing the upper part first, and then later I'll illustrate the peplum part. So I have my paper folded. I have two pieces of paper here. I'm going to be using one for the front piece. So I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to insert the measurement and explain the measurement to you. So we're going to be cutting the back and the front together, since the dress, you could see it does not have any zipper. So in making a dress like this, the first thing you do is you measure your half cut. That's from your shoulder to where you actually want the cut to be. So that's the first thing. So for this, the half cut of this is actually 13 inches. So it's actually 13 inches. So I have 13 inches here, and then you add 1 inch to the down for seam allowance that you use to stitch the top part to the down part. So that's just it. And then for a dress like this, you use your bust measurement, and then your shoulder, and you use the bust measurement. You still consider your bust measurement even though on this, so it fits properly in front. And then the next thing to consider is the shoulder measurement, because you are going to be extending your shoulders for the sleeve. So it depends on how long you actually want it to be. So that's what you will do. So in getting it like this, all you need to do is measure half of your back and measurement. That's half of your shoulder measurement. That's from this point to where you actually want your sleeve to be. So if you want your sleeve to be here, you measure from this half of your shoulder to this point. That's the middle of your back to this point, to wherever you want the sleeve. So you could see it on the picture, so you understand what I'm saying. So for this, what I'm going to be doing, the shoulder measurement of this dress is actually 14 inches. The shoulder measurement is actually 14 inches. So I'm just going to be adding 5 inches. So that 5 inches will run that's from this point, which is my shoulder measurement. The 5 inches will run to this point. So that would like join to help form the sleeve. So you could see the cape is falling down. So that's that. So now I'm going to start inserting my measurement now. So for this one, I'm not going to be dealing with bust points, whatever, on this infinity cape and top. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to measure out the neckline. The back neckline and the front neckline, they are not the same. So I'm going to be measuring out the front neckline first. So this is 3 inches. So I'm going to be using 3 inches depth and width. That's from here to here, 3 inches. And then the depth that I'm going to be using, you could see that it is actually high. The neck is like a high neck. So I'm using 2.5 on this point. So I'm just going to be curving it out to form my round neckline. So I'm just going to get a perfect and round neckline like this. And then from this end part, I'm going to be measuring out my shoulder slant. So I'm just going to come down by 1 inch like this from this point. This is my 1 inch. So I'm going to connect. So I'm not going to be. I'm going to be connecting it from here straight to the neckline point. just to give it and that perfect, so you could see the curve on the dress. So that's what gave it that perfect, to make it to sit properly on the shoulder. So this is my shoulder slant. So the next thing I'm going to do now, from this shoulder slant and measurement, depends on how wide you actually want this point to be. So now from the shoulder slant, I'm going to come down by 9 inch for my armhole. So I'm just going to mark it like this. So you could decide to make use of 8 inches or 10 inches, depends on the size. So this is armhole. So for the bust and measurement, sorry, I'm not going to be deliberating on the bust side now. So what I'm going to do now is the waist and measurement. For the waist measurement is actually 27 inches. And I'm going to add 2 inches for that, because I want to include that to it. The essence of the dart is for it to get to have, since it's not a bust here, so it will have firmness here. So the dart will like just help to augment the boobs a bit. So that's why I'm adding that to it. So you could decide not to add that, to still be okay. And then I'll add 1 inch for stitching allowance. So everything will now become 30 inches. So when I divide 30 by 4, I have 7.5 inches. So I'm just going to take my tape like this on this point like this, and then I'll add, okay, the allowance you could, okay, I'll add then this is my 7.5 inches. So you could decide to make the allowance more. So this is this. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure out the darts and parts. So in order for me to measure the dart, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come down from this hem line like this. I'm just going to measure, first of all, measure the bust and span. I'll measure the bust line, which is 10 inches. This is 10 inches. So this mark now, this is like 10 inches. That's from your shoulder to this point is my bust line. That's this point. So from this bust and line now, which is this point, I'm going to take it from this point down. That's for my dart. So I'll measure bust span, which is 4 inches. This is 4 inches. So I'm just going to connect my 4 inches to this point now. I'll rule it out. And then I'll take half inch to this side, and then half inch to this side for my dart. So that's for my dart. So the next thing I'm going to do now, so this is my waist measurement, like I said earlier. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to mark it out so you understand what I'm doing. So from this point now, this is my armhole line. So I'm just going to make a curve, which is negligible. I'm just going to make a curve like this to this point like this. So the next thing I'll do, I'll mark out the curve, but I'm not cutting it out. I just want to mark it out, but I will not cut it out, because I'm not going to be cutting it out. So the next thing I'm going to do now, from this point, I'm going to create like an arc like this. So it depends on how curvy you actually want it to be. So that is what I'm going to do. So it depends on how curved I actually want it to be. So this is how I want mine to be. So the essence of this line is for me to know where I'll start dropping it. That's the armhole line. So that's just the essence. Like I told you, I said I'm not cutting it out. So just make a curve here like this, and then back slant it to this side. So this line gives the curve. You could see the curve on the side. So that will help give the curve. So I'm just going to so you could see what I have. Like I told you, I said I'm not cutting out this point. I'm not cutting it out. So I'm going to be cutting like this to this point, and then cut my shoulder slant, cut out the neckline. Then I'll cut the back neckline separately. So I'm just going to indicate on the back neckline first. I'm still going to be making use of 3 inches because the width has to be the same. So I'll leave that out and then I'll cut everything the same. So you can see what I have. So I'm going to cut out the front neckline. So this is the front of my dress. So what I just saw now is like on the the width that I have here is a little bit smaller, so I could decide to extend it. So because like what I'm saying, I could decide to extend it. So this is 13. I actually use 13 inches plus 1 inches allowance. So if you feel that the armhole is too open, you could decide to extend. You could decide to actually extend it. It depends on your half cut. I hope you got what I meant. So now I'm going to do the back part now. So for the back piece now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to, at the back, we're not going to be putting any dart on the back. So I'm just going to measure. This is my 3 inches. That's the 3 inches width for the back neckline. And the back, you see that it is a V, and it's coming from this point, it is coming down. So it depends on how wide you actually want it to be. If you want it to be wider, you could decide to increase it. So I'm just going to come to this back point like this. I'll measure half an inch from the down part. So I'm going to be slanting it from that point to this place. So I'm going to cut it out. So I'll stitch it together now so you understand. I'm going to stitch it together from the shoulder line. So guys, you could see, welcome back. So I finished taping the back. So I finished taping it. So this is what we have now. So this is the back, and then this is the front. So this is the back. So I'm just going to use let me just indicate it properly with my marker. Let me highlight it rather. So this is the back V, and then the front. So what I noticed is that this curved part for the armhole part, if you feel that it's too curved, if you don't like it curved like this and you want to make it straight, you could decide to still do that by just you could just decide to straighten it out a bit. Instead of using a curve, you could decide to make use of a ruler to just like straighten it out just a bit. So it depends on what you want. So you could decide to straighten it out. So I'm just going to fold it and then cut it out. So you could decide if you want this. You could see this one is straight. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to be cutting the peplum. So in cutting the peplum, all you have to do is you measure your peplum measurement. And what I'm going to say is, if you are not going to be using a stretchy fabric, I advise you attach a zipper to your peplum, or else you won't be able to put it on. So you attach a zipper to your peplum by adding zipper allowance to your peplum, and then you fix it, and then before you connect it before you join the down to this part. But if you are going to be using a fabric that is slightly stretchy, you don't need to put any zipper allowance on it. So you could just fix it. You could just measure out the exact waist measurement, and then you do that. So I'm going to cut out my peplum now, but I'm really not going to be deliberating on it on this video. So guys, so you could see my peplum. So I finished cutting it. Like I said I'm not showing you on this video. So I have so much videos on my channel on how to cut different type of lace, so you could go and check them out. So this is the peplum now. So all you have to do is just attach it to it. You attach the front piece to it, so you could see it looks exactly like what we have there on the picture. And then for the back part, if it is the back, so this is how the back is going to be. So you just attach it like this. When you get to this point, you could see, like on the picture that I showed you earlier, after attaching it to it like this, what they now did, they now put a button here, it's just like a fancy button, so that was placed on top of this point. Like I said on the video, if you are using a stretchy fabric, you just fix your peplum exactly like this. Make sure the measurement is accurate and then fix it round. But if the fabric is not a stretchy fabric, maybe like an Ankara, I advise you open your peplum here, you add zipper allowance, open your peplum and then fix a zipper on this part of your peplum, and then before you now fix it to it. So before you now fix it to it, so it will make it firm, so it will be able to enter into you properly without any problem. Or on the other hand, you could decide to put an elastic on it. So you could just try something different. You could decide to put an elastic on it, so that elastic will help bring the waist closer to each other. So guys, so I've now come to the end of this video, so I'm just going to turn it out like this. I've now come to the end of this video. So if you actually like what I did with this video, do not hesitate to hit on the like button, subscribe if you have not done so already. So thank you so much for watching, and bye. God bless you.